Good evening. As I was listening to our guests introduce themselves today, I heard a lot of them say things like, well, I'm here at Toastmasters to improve my public speaking skills. And I remember when I was a new member, that's exactly what I was thinking too. I didn't hear any of our guests this evening say, well, I came to Toastmasters because I'm interested in learning how to evaluate other people's speaking ability. But that's exactly what we need to do at Toastmasters, in addition to becoming better speakers ourselves. I remember when I was a new member, I was very keen on creating my own speeches, delivering my own speeches, and I wanted to be evaluated. This, yes, but evaluate someone else? I thought to myself, who am I to evaluate anyone? And I remember, about 2 months into my membership in Toastmasters, Gavin, who's scribbling away, we won't bother him, but Gavin gave a speech on how to give an effective evaluation. And as a new member, it was so helpful to me, so helpful to me. And he shared some interesting insights and also some basic things, but as a new member, somebody who was, or even not a new member, but someone who I was really feeling not confident about my ability to give an evaluation, it made all the difference to me. So I'm hoping that this speech will maybe make a difference for some people. Also, as John mentioned, in our next meeting on February 27th, we have a contest. And one of the two competitions is evaluation. So you don't need to prepare anything for this. We encourage all members to sign up. And we'd love to see your participation. Perhaps you can get some tips and some ideas from today's speech. So first, I'd like to share with you, in my opinion, the purpose of an evaluation. So the title of my speech, I don't really like it on the agenda. I just wrote something silly at the beginning, but a more thoughtful title I have thought for this speech is Evaluations, an Exercise in Seeing Someone. So I really think that from my experience at Toastmasters, from my experience as a teacher, from my experience as a human, interacting with other people, people really need or crave or desire to be seen. And I think that by seeing them in the context of Toastmasters, what this can mean is really listening to the speaker, if I'm the evaluator, listening to what they say and listening to what they don't say. What they're saying with their body, the message that the words they decide to use and decide not to use. Second is to really acknowledge them in your evaluation. Acknowledge the strong points and acknowledge the effort that they made, even if it wasn't a strong point, right? I think that's so important, so clever, right? And then I would also say the third part is supporting them genuinely from your perspective. That's what an evaluation is. It's not that you're the expert, no one's the expert, everyone is learning, but from where you're standing, what you saw in their speech, what can you offer them that can help them learn? This is the purpose of an evaluation in my eyes. One more key kind of theoretical concept I'd like to touch on is I think for an effective evaluation, the intentions of the speaker and the intentions of the evaluator must be aligned. And what I mean by this is the speaker's intention, if we can agree, is clear. I want to better my speaking skills. I want to improve as a speaker. And what is the evaluator's intention? In my opinion, it needs to be for the speaker to improve their speaking skills. It is not for me to become a good evaluator, and it is not for me to give a good evaluation speech. In fact, help yourself by helping others. As you focus on helping the speaker to the best of your ability, you are helping yourself to the best of your ability become a better evaluator. So these are the theory concepts I'd like to take with us, or keep them in your mind perhaps, as a mindset shift. Now if we can shift gears, I'll talk a little bit about some more practical tips, how I can structure my evaluation, perhaps can be useful for you. First and foremost, also a bit of a mindset thing. This is one from my friend Gavin, so helpful when I was a new member. He said, an evaluation is your opinion. It's nothing more, and it's nothing less. So, your opinion doesn't mean that it's true. It means it's what you perceived from your position. But it's nothing less than your opinion because your opinion has merit. right? We don't need to be afraid or shy to share our opinions. What we have to say has value. So first things first, an evaluation is your opinion. Next, of course, the sandwich technique, the famous technique. What does this mean? Start out with something positive, move into some constructive critiques, and finish with some more positive points. This is a surefire, no-fail way to organize your ideas. Next, offer solutions. Don't just point out problems. Anybody can see problems, right? So, pointing out problems, right? Forgive my language. Points for improvement. Okay, we understand each other. Pointing out some points for improvement is good, but how can the person, forgive my language, correct? How about correcting? Improve? How can the person move past this? How can the person grow? Offer a recommendation, offer a solution. Now, what happens if you don't know what to do? You are aware that there is a weakness, but you yourself as the evaluator, you really don't know how to fix it. My recommendation is to admit it. You can say something like, I've noticed this weakness in your speech. Parentheses, perhaps one of the reasons that you noticed it in the first place is because it's a weakness that maybe you have, right? Close parentheses. And you can say something like, I noticed this weakness in your speech. To be honest with you, I'm not sure how I would recommend fixing it or growing from it. However, I believe that it would merit some closer attention. And you can give that to them, and they can take it and do whatever they want with that. And if it's useful for them, they'll take it. Side note for speakers, if you get some feedback which is not useful for you, you discard it. Side note for evaluators, don't take it personally, because it's not about you. Everybody is in a different place, I think, in their journey. Right? Good. Next thing, 2 more points I'd really like to share with you, time permitting. Fourth one, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, clearly, right? So, it's completely different if I say, your voice was monotonous and put me to sleep. Or I could also say something like, could you be more purposeful with your vocal variety? Right? I like it. What's wrong with that? So what I want to say more specifically in this point is let's be purposeful with our choice of language if we can in evaluations. And something I always like to do myself is if I'm going to point out a point for improvement, is I formulate it in a question. If any of you receive feedback sheets from me as well, I do it. Could you have used the stage more completely, for example? Could you take more care? Could you spend greater effort on the organization of ideas in your speech? Could you have focused on one main theme instead of 5? For example. Just because you're my friend, I'm sorry. Good. And then, be careful with word choice. Could, might, perhaps, maybe, consider, instead of you should, you must, do it this way. Okay? Last but not least, but maybe not last. Maybe not last, it's all right with me. Let's see. Address the speaker and the rest of the audience as well. So I will take some time to talk about this one. We don't have enough time at Toastmasters or in life to make all the mistakes ourselves, right? So it's important to learn from each other's quote-unquote mistakes and also successes, right? Which is why if I'm an evaluator, certainly I would speak directly to the speaker whose speech I'm evaluating because it's personal. But then I would also go back and forth and open it up to the audience. And the reason I would do this is because if I'm only speaking to one person, perhaps the other members can disengage. And we don't want this, okay? We want everyone to learn from each other. Now, last but not least, you don't have to say everything. You don't have to say everything. So, perhaps you're evaluating a speech, and perhaps you see many points for improvement. Could be. No one is going to, don't worry about people thinking about you as the evaluator. Well, she didn't mention this, that was so clear. Well, she didn't mention that, well, I could have seen that, I can't believe she didn't say it. It's not about you. Choose the strongest, my recommendation, choose the strongest points that the speaker did well, and choose the areas that you perceive the speaker spent the greatest effort on, and congratulate those. And then, for points to improve, choose the most salient points to improve, which you feel the speaker would benefit from the most, from fixing these 3 main things, or these 2 main things. There's always another speech. There's always another manual. There's always another path. There's always another time. There's always another opportunity to pick up those details on the way. So focus on big rocks. It's my recommendation. So if I need to leave you now, because it seems that it's coming to be about that time, certainly I would like to leave you with evaluations is an exercise in seeing someone. And that seeing someone is listening to them completely, acknowledging them and their effort, and genuinely offering your support. Please, if you'd like to continue the conversation more, you can ask me or any of our members outside of the meeting, and I encourage you to fill out your mentorship form, and you can ask your mentor. Thank you.